isolated, like.
And we're back. Some of us from the current time period, others from 1986.
Hi,
Joining
olden
us.
time, Nate.
This is like watching NFL games were back in the day. You look like
I hope when they watch it, he's perfect and they have no idea what we're talking about.
You guys carry on. I know what the problem is. I'm gonna be right back. All right. You guys carry on.
No, I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can drop out and come back in, but we'll find out.
Okay, so well, it's good to be back for episode 2.
Yes, talking
Hell
Niners,
yeah.
baby. Woo!
Fuck yeah.
Dude, are you excited? Because I'm excited. Although I'm a little worried. Brock hasn't been Brocking.
Why did they even put him in the game yesterday?
I
With
don't know.
all backups?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. But I'd like.
So Colin Cowherd today, he was talking, and he's not a fan of Brock's. He said, he goes, just like I've always been saying, if you take him away from the Hall of Famers, if you put him on Carolina, he'd look just like Bryce Young.
Well,
he didn't say Bryce Young. He goes, he looked just as bad. He goes, he doesn't look good when he's not with Hall of Famers.
yeah.
And I was like, damn, dude. Like, I hope he's not right.
People have been saying that for a while. That's the thing about Brock. Is you take him out of the spotlight, take his toys away from him, and he sometimes looks average. Which is
should have never played him yesterday.
You see what Grant said about him?
I didn't see what Grant said about him.
I saw what Coward said today on national media. He said, he goes, just like I've been saying, take away the Hall of Famers. It looks average. He goes, you put him on Carolina, he's not the same guy. And I go,
Coward's a hater. We all know that.
I know
but,
he is.
Yeah.
I mean, Coward is always a Lance guy because Lance dated his daughter.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Are you serious?
Did he really?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
I did not know that either.
Dated Coward's daughter. I don't know if they're still dating, but he was always a Brock hater from day one. He's always been.
Yeah,
a Brock
I knew
hater.
that. Yeah.
No,
it's a good dad.
Yeah, I know there's some guys watching this that are into conspiracy theories, but the conspiracy theory that Grant Cohn put out was that Shanahan did that on purpose to show the rest of the league what Brock looks like when he doesn't have his weapons. So that way he can depress his value when he becomes a free agent at the end of the year. Everybody that, hey, if he doesn't have my playbook and he doesn't have my, because Shanahan wasn't calling plays last night either. He let Clay Kubiak call the plays last night.
Okay.
So it's almost like saying, if he doesn't have my plays and he doesn't have his weapons, this is what you're gonna get. So be buyer beware.
Why would you do that? What do you get out of that? Explain it to you, because I'm not smart. Explain to me why.
Less money in the contract.
It's a negotiation ploy. Instead of paying Brock $60 million, maybe you get him for $50 million.
You're saying he's showing his agent and stuff. This is fuel to go. Okay, I got you. I thought you were talking about other teams, and I didn't understand.
Just setting a data point down.
Yep. Something they can point to, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. It makes total sense.
God, I hope not.
Man, the reason we're talking about this because I was just like, yeah, Brock's not Brocking yet. You know what I mean? Like, and it's preseason, but still, when you have Josh Dobbs come in and look like Josh Dobbs looked, you go, same guys, same people.
Nice to have a competent backup. It's been a while.
Yeah, and by the way, I watched every play that Brock played last night, and you're right, he didn't look great, but he also didn't. He looks like he's just smart. Okay, here's the difference between him and Josh Dobbs. When Josh Dobbs was under pressure, what did he do? He scrambled around a bunch, and then he tried to leap through 3 guys to get the first down. Yeah. And then when he went and got that touchdown later, he had a leap over the end zone, did a tumble into the end zone. Brock's not trying to get himself hurt in the preseason.
That's true.
And honestly, I don't want our backup quarterback doing that, even in preseason. That's the stupidest thing in the world. You're not playing for the starting job. Keep yourself healthy. That was dumb.
There was one moment where Chase Young, who was on the Niners last year, was about to sack Brock.
Was he really, though?
He was about to lay the wood on him. And what did Brock do? Brock just went, boop, and just stood out of bounds. Now, in a regular season game, he's not going to do that. Brock, in a regular season game, he's going to fire that ball. He's going to stay in there. But, he just jumped out of bounds. He's protecting his body. He's playing smart. He doesn't want to risk any injury. So I'm fine with it.
All right. I'm coming out the gate. Did you guys hear about this story that they offered Colin Kaepernick a job?
Not the Niners.
No.
Not
the Niners. The Chargers.
Oh.
Sorry, I my brain was moving faster than my mouth was. The Chargers, and it was Harbaugh, so my brain was all convoluted. The Harbaugh and the Chargers have reached out to Colin Kaepernick, who's apparently out of the country at the moment. He hasn't got back, and offered him a job on the staff as a coach and stuff. And I just was curious if you guys had seen that story, and it was on the top of my brain, and I just wanted to hear what you guys thought.
No, but I heard the best nickname for him ever this year, and I'm sure Nate's heard this because he follows the same guys I do. They call him Throza Parks.
Rosa Parks.
I thought that was hilarious.
Throw the picks.
Wow.
No,
Anyway, sorry.
I think more was made of that story than what it was. What happened was somebody interviewed Harbaugh and said, "Hey, now that you're back in the NFL again, would you ever think about bringing Kaepernick on?" And they asked to bring him on as a player. And then he said, "No, we've had talks though, and I've offered him if he wants to, get his foot into coaching, that I would give him an opportunity here." And that got national attention. Oh, you officially offered him a job.
Right.
I mean, I think they're just still friendly, right?
Hey, even I fell for it. I saw it. I was like, look at this. Look at this. Harbaugh bringing the boy back. I like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you like it because he's a great quarterback and he could teach a lot of good stuff?
Why not? I mean, the kid.
No, was he a great quarterback and could he teach a lot of good stuff?
I think he was an NFL Super Bowl playing quarterback. I mean, he made it to the Super Bowl, right? Like dude, I'm just talking. I have no agenda. I always thought he was more of a great athlete, more than a great quarterback, study the game kind of guy. So I don't know how great of teachers they are. And that's not a black-white thing like, Ben, I see your fucking look on your face. That's not what I was trying to say. I never thought that he was a studier of tape.
This whole conversation has been sort of beaten to the ground, and I know that I'm tired of talking about Colin Kaepernick, and I'm sure most people are tired of hearing it.
I wasn't trying to bring up a Colin Kaepernick debate. I just thought it was interesting. I saw it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
I'll answer your question though, Matt. I thought he was at the time that he was at his height of his powers, I thought he was a top 10 quarterback in the league. And I am sad that he wasn't able to kind of take that to a longer career.
Me too on that statement, 1,000%.
Yeah, he fell off a cliff real quick.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, it's a year that he went vegan and lost like 25 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that? Like he came back skinny. He had no arm strength, no leg strength. I mean, it was simultaneous with everything else that's going on. But yeah, all right, done with Kaepernick.
All right, so our Trent and Ayuk deal is going to get done before the season start. Are we going to have our team fully intact, or are we not?
I have faith. I mean, I've been the same on Trent as I've been all along. I feel like Trent is totally worth every penny he asks for, and that he has every right to ask for it, even though he has 3 years left on his deal. The fact is he's like the 10th highest paid offensive lineman in the league right now. So of course, you ask for a raise after a year, he's 36 years old with no guaranteed money on his contract. So of course he's going to ask for some guaranteed money. He's going to get it. The only reason it hasn't gotten done yet is because Trent doesn't want to be at training camp. Who can blame him? He's 36 and it's fucking hot.
Veteran move, man. Savvy.
Yeah. So you're going to hear about the Trent signing, right at the end of training camp.
I said it in our thread like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. If he only shows up for games, I'm fine with it. He doesn't need practice anymore. He doesn't need that. That probably only wears him down. Well, let him just show up on games.
I remember the same argument. People were making that same argument for Aaron Donald the whole time Aaron Donald held out. Right? They were like, who cares? Just let the guy show up for the game and sack the quarterback and chase the guys down. That's all. That's what he does. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to be at practice and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I still like him there though.
Dude,
I'd like our front unit to be very cohesive before the season starts. You know what I mean?
You can't argue with that. But he doesn't practice much during training camp, anyways. He gets a lot of veteran days, and he's going to take advantage of it. And you know what? That's fine. I'm fine with Trent sitting out. Ayuk, I wish I was there. I wish he was there. And I think it's really going to his performance in the early part of the season is going to suffer because he's not there right now, getting that timing.
That's what I was going to bring up. Exactly. He won't be game ready.
We saw the same thing with Debo when Debo showed up to camp late. That the early part of his season suffered as well.
He also
the only great part about that might be that if he's not going to be up to speed. Period. He's not going to be up to speed. Maybe we get a little bit of run for our rookies in the first couple of games. Just give him a little bit of game experience. Put Ayuk back in when he's ready. But if they have a little bit of experience and we need them later in the year, could be a benefit.
I think they're two different type of players too, though. Debo came back a little heavy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He was a little heavy. Ayuk's not that guy. Ayuk's going to be in great shape when he comes back when he comes back in and he's ready to play. We're not worried about a weight thing with him. He's a different type of athlete. So I'm not necessarily worried about that in that sense.
It's still timing.
It might be.
timing.
It might be.
Yeah.
It might be. You don't think he's catching balls from Brock on the side? You think him and Brock are meeting up, hanging
It
out?
would have been posted by now if they were.
Yeah, not when the cameras are there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, not when the
He's not
cameras
doing
are
anything.
there.
We would've seen it.
Not when the
We would've seen
cameras
it.
are there. I'm talking about off time. I'm talking about when they're just hanging. You know what I
Does
mean?
that,
you-
that
we
doesn't
all
help
know-
Ayuk's
we
point. It
all-
doesn't help Ayuk's point to be working on the side right now. It doesn't help us.
Those guys all work though. They don't. They're not. He's not just sitting on his couch. Not today. Not 2024. None of these guys are just sitting on their couch. They're all a different species of athlete nowadays. They all train.
Counterpoint to that is
Go ahead.
we all know who Brock hangs out with in his free time, and it's not the brothers.
You're going there, huh?
You
You're
seen
going
those
there.
wedding
You
photos?
went there.
You seen those wedding photos? Holy moly!
It's not just the wedding, dude. It's not just the wedding.
No, it's the basketball games, the baseball
it's
games.
all over. Dude. Yeah,
They go to the
yeah.
Kentucky Derby together. It's there's
and
definitely
it should
divide in
and it's
that
a
locker room.
non-story and shouldn't be a story.
It's not.
It's a non-story.
Hey, you're friends with who you're friends with. You know what
Dude.
I mean?
You don't
what
post
it
up
is.
every time Debo goes out with his boys and say, "Oh, there's no white boys here." What the hell?
If Brock's throwing passes in his spare time, it's it's to the use checks and the Persals, the CMC.
The Christians.
Let's get some hot
and the
takes on here.
Kyles.
Let's get
The
this thing going
Christians
viral.
and the Kyles. This isn't going viral.
You remember that old video of Kyle Shanahan when it was in the off season, and I don't know where they're at, but he's up on a rooftop and he's got a bunch of players around him, all white players. And Kyle Shanahan throws the football across the street to a different rooftop and lands it into somebody's like basket sitting on their Kyle's got a gun on him too, but
Yeah.
That makes sense. I always see all these videos of people going, black guys going, "That's white people shit. We don't do that." They're not getting up on roofs and jumping off doing dumb shit like that. Hell no. I've seen those videos.
What do you guys think about Ricky Pearsall and the other receiver that we saw last night tear
Cowing?
it up? Cowing.
Jacob Cowing, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm stoked on Cowing.
Let's get him a nickname.
Yeah, no, actually, I was thinking about it today.
Like Moo,
when
the big
Cowing
Moo.
scores touchdowns, are we going to move for him? Is that what we
Yes,
do?
exactly. That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's people. We're not going to be the first to do that. Probably.
Where'd he play college? Anybody know?
Arizona.
Oh, they're a rowdy
Oh.
bunch. They could have moved for sure.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about Cowing is that he was very productive in college. For as late as he was drafted, if you look at his numbers, he wasn't a senior breakout or a second year. He had 4 solid years of putting up solid stats. He's over 1,000 every
who
year.
did he play? Who were the number ones on his team when he played? Do you remember? Because I don't know that. Oh, okay.
I haven't looked into it that much. I just know he had a very productive college career, and that's pretty rare for a guy that gets drafted that late. And
Yeah.
dude, he's a burner. He's got that speed, and he
Yeah,
showed last night. I know
that
Ben, you made a
end
joke
around,
that
that end around that he made. I made a joke about what?
that he's playing against Plumber's assistants.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
he was.
that was-
I mean,
it
it
was
was
a good
the
joke.
second and third stringers back there. You know what I mean? Speed
Yeah,
is speed,
but-
though. Speed is speed.
Yeah, the speed is speed, and dude, he looks great. The tracking of the ball, over his shoulder, caught it.
That was a
and he
horrible throw, though. That was the one. That's the in a real game that would have been a pick. Pick 6. It was on the inside. He slowed down for it and turned in. A real
Well, I'm thinking
cornerback
of a
would.
different pass, and I was seeing the one that carried him out of bounds.
No,
Yeah, the
but
one
he
that carried him out
he
of bounds over
did,
the
but he
shoulder.
turned. No, it was. Watch it again. It
The
wasn't
big
over
long
the.
one to Cowing.
It wasn't
took
on
him
the
out of
outside.
bounds.
It wasn't on the
Yeah.
outside though. It was on the inside. He turned on the
Was
inside.
it? Okay.
That would have
Alright.
been picked, or it would have been knocked down, but by a real
Well,
cornerback.
regardless of how the Plumber's assistant looked, I thought, and by the way, regardless of how Josh Dobbs, who threw that pass, looked,
Yeah.
I thought Cowing looked really good, and it's very encouraging. And I think I wouldn't be
Better-
surprised at all if he actually ends up being more productive this year than Purcell.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I haven't even seen.
So you guys are just saying JJ's done, huh?
No.
Jenny?
I like
JJ's
Juwan
the role.
Jennings, dude.
No,
I like him a
I was
lot.
talking about the rookies. I'm not taking it away from Juwan.
Okay,
Juwan-
well, if JJ's 3, how much time do either of them really get? If it's gonna matter? If
No.
everybody's healthy.
I don't necessarily think either of them are going to stand out at all this year.
Okay.
Cowan might have some opportunities.
Couple
They might.
packages here and there.
They both might. But I was just curious what you guys thought of them each, in general coming up so far.
Pearsall could be
You
fun,
guys pay
man.
way more attention to camp stuff than I do. So
Pearsall could be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Oh, for sure. And I think the thing that to take away from it with how good Pearsall has looked in camp before his injury and how Cowan looked last night, I think that the main takeaway should be that if there is an injury to an Ayuk or a Debo, that there's less panic because we have some other guys that can catch. And I think Jennings can step in, just like he did last year and be very productive as well.
He's got some big plays.
Dude, Debo was injured a lot in the playoffs last year, and we forget how much Jennings played in the playoffs. And
I don't, dude. I love that guy. No, I don't forget that at all, dude. He's a stud.
If the Niners would have won, Jennings would have been the MVP of the Super Bowl. Yeah. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns, 1 passing, 1 receiving. I mean, Jennings is a stud. I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
That's the one reason why I thought they could let Ayuk go if we got the right guy back. Is I really believe JJ could step up to be the 2 or 2AB kind of thing. Depending on who came back. Like if Amari Cooper came back, because Amari Cooper's not fast at all. I thought he'd give us that edge, but
I think we all. Like everybody would be so bummed if we lost Ayuk. I think we all forget those plays that are so special that he makes. He's just as dynamic as any of the other guys on our team. You know what I mean? Like he has those games where he takes over and he just you're just like, holy shit, number 11 again, number 11 there. Oh my God. You know what I mean? So like, honestly, I think it's,
I don't want to lose Ayuk.
See, that's where I don't want to lose him at all, Ben, but that's where we differ. I don't remember looking back and going, I have games where I can think of him putting the team on his back and dragging us to a victory. Not that he didn't have huge games, not that he didn't make huge plays, not that he's not a great receiver. Debo has picked our team up and dragged us across the finish line before.
Differently because he's a running back. He's
EMC has picked us up and dragged us
again,
and won games for us.
The metaphor
has never done that.
Because he doesn't do that. He's graceful and he glides into the end zone for 3 touchdowns, and we're like, oh shit, it's not as cool as carrying guys into the end zone. And
I think you're thinking too physical of what I'm talking about. I'm just saying I don't think he can put the team on his back and win a game for us.
He has though, right?
Everything else is.
The underrated aspect to Ayuk though is that it's not just, and I get it. It's hard to imagine a wide receiver putting a team on his back, right? Unless he's catching like 10, 15 balls. Yeah. But the underrated aspect of Ayuk is his run blocking, which is elite, one of the best in the league. And I mean, there's so many plays last year I can think of where CMC's darting down the sideline, and who's there to put that final block in? It's Ayuk. He's right there, getting us the extra 20, 30 yards, right? And really the way that he opens up the field for the other guys, right? The reason that Debo and Kittle and those guys get open so often is because you have to have a guy on Ayuk. He's our deep threat. So, I really think it would make a huge impact to our success if he wasn't there. And I think it's critical that they not only sign him, but sign him to a long-term extension. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually Debo's last year and that Ayuk is the leader in the wide receiver room moving forward with some of these young studs that we're talking about that are coming up.
You don't think we're going to be able to afford to keep Debo or what?
No. Well, the thing is that you can't afford to keep everybody. And next year we know Brock is going to need to get paid, right? And what's going to happen next year is Debo is going to be entering the final year of his contract and he's going to want an extension. He's going to start chirping, right? And so if you pay Ayuk $30 million, which is what it's reported it's at now, 30, and then Brock is going to want his 55 or whatever it is. Trent is getting his money. CMC just got a raise. All these guys, right? If Debo starts chirping next year, no, you're going to trade Debo at 29 years old and get something of value for him before he ages out. So,
man, what a steal somebody's going to get, right?
Dude, if the plan is to let Debo go, then we have to give Ayuk what he wants this year,
right?
We have to.
Yeah.
Well, but I don't.
Where we're at with Ayuk right now, the last report was that we've now matched the offer that the Steelers offered him.
Right, he wants one more year.
Yeah. And then he just wants that extra little cushion at the end, right? The 4th year, he wants more guarantees. I think the Niners are just putting their foot in the sand and saying, listen, that's it. We're not bending anymore. We've bent as much as we're going to bend. Take it or leave it. And they're just waiting for Ayuk to sign the dotted line. And Ayuk is just, okay, what's my incentive for showing up now? So I can so I can be in training camp. I mean, maybe I'll hold out and they'll give me a little bit more. So right now
And,
it's just a waiting game.
and
I think
either way, he's going to be there because we have him under contract, right? So
yeah, he's under contract.
it's just a matter of he's just going to show up. He'll just be like, fine, I'll see you guys whatever day I need to be there for the game.
Just pisses me off. Be a team player, motherfucker. Just be a
How
team
worried are you
player.
guys about, not to pivot too much here, but how worried are you guys about CMC this year?
I don't think that's pivoting at all. In what matter speaking, as far as like staying healthy or
Staying healthy, the usage last year where he had so many touches last year, which was like astronomical. And typically when guys have that many touches, there's usually a down year to follow. And then he's already dealing with the calf strain. So that was his main issue in Carolina. They used to call him Christian McCaff strain, right?
But here's the thing. I mean, we've talked so many times about how we have said, you said, I've said, everybody said, he's just different. He does stuff in training that nobody else does.
That's so funny. I was just thinking that in my head. He's
right.
different, bro.
It's exactly what was said last year. It's the exact thing. So if that was true last year, Nate, you said it. We all talked about it. You said it. I've said it. It can't be any different 6 months later, right?
No, but
so
okay,
we're good.
A different
we're good,
right? From a different perspective, take your Niner hat off. As a dynasty owner, okay, if you own Christian McCaffrey in Dynasty and you're not a Niner fan, are you looking to sell him right now?
Fuck yes.
Oh, Dynasty Matt came in. He's hardcore about
this.
Of
course you're trading him.
See, I'm split. I'm trading him in my non-competitive leagues, but I'm keeping him in my competitive leagues. It just turns out that all the leagues I have
matters. Team matters.
Right?
I say with the guy,
but I mean, here's the thing. When I said trade him, I was thinking getting back like a number one and something that you can use this year.
2 number ones, yeah.
Probably that's what I was going to say first. I thought you'd laugh at me. 2 number ones or something like a really good running back, a number one, bottom end number one. If you can get it, I mean, sometimes you got to take it, even though he's going to have a great year. But sometimes you got to do it. Nate, you're good at doing that kind of stuff.
Why wouldn't you just write him for one more year?
Because if he gets hurt, you lose all your value. You'll never trade him again to get nothing back.
That's the same thing. That was the same as last year. Same as going to be the same as next year. I mean.
All right. So if somebody's offering you Saquon Barkley and a first,
take it in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
in a heartbeat.
You'd rather have
Saquon Barkley is my number one this year.
Yeah, I know he is. He's ever
really.
He's a lot of people.
Saquon Barkley is my number one running back this year. Well, because of who keepers are and stuff. We're in our league. Sorry, I'm going back to fantasy football. I know we're doing real football, but yeah, in our league for sure, he's Saquon's my number one.
In our redraft league, you mean? Yeah. You're going
to be targeting him.
Well, because of who else the keepers are and stuff. Bijan's gone. Reese is gone.
Yeah.
Gibbs is gone.
Well, CMC's available.
Yeah, CMC's available.
Right. So in a 49ers league, of course I'm going for Saquon. I think Saquon actually ends up the number one running back this year.
Weren't you the number one seed last year, or close to it? You had like one of your best seasons last year in our redraft league, in our main league. You had one of your best years.
Besides my 2 championships?
Yeah, well, it was one of your best.
Yeah, those count.
And it was because you had CMC, right?
Yeah, and a bunch of fucking like third string old broke down receivers like Adam Thielen who got fired at the beginning of the year. But yeah, no, it was CMC. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
6 months later, are we fine?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
6 months later, it's only been 6 months. So now you're targeting Saquon instead? Why wouldn't you target the guy who just won you the league?
Because he has a better offensive line than the Niners do, and he's built for that team, dude. Yes, I think Saquon will be a better running back. I think he'll score more points than any of the running back this year.
What's the date today? Let's write this down.
This is
Ben. If you don't, Ben, you don't even think it's a close conversation. Is what your attitude's showing, and I think Nate would probably differ that it's at least a very close conversation.
I think CMC.
No, I don't have Saquon in my top 5 this year.
Whoa. Oh, I should keep my mouth shut before the draft. Don't put this outside after the draft.
No, bro.
No, I think this time next year. I think this time next year, Bijan will be the 1.1 in all redraft leagues. Bijan will be the 1.1.
Depending on Algier, how much Algier gets will matter.
No. Algier's not going to matter.
Algier's already said he's going to get a bunch. We'll see.
Well,
we'll
the
see.
coach came out and
caveat, small caveat.
Coach came out and said that Algier is going to be used a lot this year. But
they asked the coach. They said, "Is Algier still part of the game plan?" And he said, "Oh yeah, of course we love Algier. He'll be part of our game plan." That doesn't mean shit.
Well, Bijan's an absolute stud. He could be the 1-1, no doubt.
Okay,
no doubt.
So McCaffrey, Hall, Bijan.
Yeah.
Where does Kyron Williams fall into this after last year?
I mean, he should be considered still in the top 5,
top
right?
5, right?
Yeah.
You think over Barkley?
Yeah, and you got to put ETN up there too. He's got all those receptions, man.
ETN?
Oh, come on. ETN over Barkley this year with that offensive line?
Well, dude, what is Barkley?
Are you kidding me?
What did Barkley?
You guys got me. You're setting me up, aren't you?
What about Pacheco? What about Pacheco?
Blooper reel. You guys are blooper reeling me. This
where
is
did
ridiculous.
Barkley? Where did Barkley?
There's no way
Barkley
Saquon
was
is not top 5.
So wait, last year, right?
That offensive line?
Last year, McCaffrey, Hall, ETN. Then you got Mostert, White, Mixon, Kylan, or Williams.
Mostert is not going to score 47 touchdowns again.
Henry, Bijan, Gibbs, Kamara, Cook, then Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know he's on a new team, but he's that much better only on a new team than all those other guys.
He was on the Giants, guys. He was on the Giants. Okay, that's
fine.
Nobody has to believe me. Nobody has to believe me.
I believe you. I'm not saying
let's go. We have the makings of a bet here, Matt. We have the makings of a bet.
No, we don't bet on these podcasts anymore because Ben does injuries and I don't pay up, and we're just not doing it anymore.
No, this is. I thought you meant a personal bet.
I didn't just pay up. Nate didn't pay up either, so that's.
I thought you meant a personal bet.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so McCaffrey. Anyways, I don't know how we got off on that, but
this is football talk.
Yeah. I'm
excited. You're not worried about McCaffrey, Ben.
I'm not worried about. Oh, that's what it was. That's where it started. You asked if we were worried about him. No, I'm riding him. If I had the opportunity to draft him and take him this year, I would take him in a heartbeat.
All right. What's your top? What do you pay for him this year? You have the option to take him.
I know. I'm gonna.
I paid $57 last year, if I remember correctly.
That's a steal.
Will McCaffrey be the number 1 highest player in our auction? Will he go for the most?
Are you saying that Bijan and Brees are being kept?
Yeah, they're both being kept.
They are both being kept.
Then yeah, I say McCaffrey.
Then yeah, of course. Yeah.
Over all the receivers, over CeeDee Lamb, over Tyreek Hill.
Over everybody?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Yep.
Okay. I think so too. I'd probably put McCaffrey at the top only because of obviously what he did last year, and then you have a lot of Niner fans. I think that, but I think you can make a case that Tyreek Hill, should be the highest.
Or CD.
I struggle with CD, man.
I mean, really? You struggle. How do you struggle with them after like last year's production?
Yeah, last year he had the 1 year of that kind of production, but first of all, he's not in camp right now.
Yeah, he's out right now.
He hasn't shown up to camp, and he's not going to show up in camp until he gets that contract. I feel more confident with Ayuk signing his contract with CD right now. He hasn't
especially because the owner, he don't give a fuck, dude. He won't pay him. He'll be like, nope.
And so, I mean, CD, I think will still end up being a top wide receiver. I'm not saying he's gonna have a bad year. He's gonna have a great year. I'm not taking. I do a lot of best ball. I know, Matt, you do too. I see a lot of CD going first overall. How do you take CD over Tyreek in a best ball right now when one of them is there?
Injury and age. Injury and age are the two reasons why I would see why somebody could make that call.
When Tyreek was healthy last year, he was by far and away way better than CD.
It was hard to watch Tyreek with those injury games at the end, and that's what people remember. So I think that's the reason it happens.
So is this a year that Amon-Ra St. Brown finally gets the respect and gets goes?
I think he has it already. I mean,
last
year was.
I'm joking, but like I'm waiting for him to be at the top of the conversation.
The problem with that team is they don't have a number 2 receiver or number 3 receiver. Khalif Raymond might be their number 2, and that's
Jameson.
not good.
Jameson's
maybe, but he's never done it.
This is his year.
The coaches don't even say he's ready yet. I mean, he's getting better. He's making improvement. I mean, if he's the guy we thought he was going to be when I drafted him. Yeah.
Oh, we drafted him, huh?
I drafted him.
I remember somebody kept him, right?
And then I lost him because of the lineup. But it dropped.
I I think he was speaking of the royal we, as in the
The-
Lions.
Oh, the
Yeah.
royal
No,
we.
fuck off,
Oh,
dude.
yes, I think you did.
Yeah, that's
You
exactly
did
what
do
I'm
that.
talking about. So you're decked out in fucking 49ers gear. Thank you. There's no Lions gear in my house. Can everybody in this podcast say
Hey, you know what?
Can everybody say
Just
it?
because my son was influenced by you Michigan people, it wasn't not
that
my
was your
fault.
mama.
I think Amon-Ra is definitely in the conversation as
Yeah.
one of maybe the 5 or 6 wide receivers who could easily finish as the number 1 wide receiver this year.
Yes.
I know for a fact I'm not going to get him this year because I know Ben is going to make sure that I don't get him this year.
Yes.
But I'll tell you this, Ben, he's projected right now on Fantasy Pros at $45. Do you see him going for a penny less than 55?
I know, because I know I'm going up against you, and I'm sure there's gonna be other takers this year too. It's not just gonna be me and you. He's been on display now for enough years.
55.
He'll go for 50. Easy, probably, right?
I mean,
would
last
think
year
so.
we had a
He's
couple wide
deserving
receivers.
of it, but
I know
damn.
Nathan's trying to get me to tell him what I'm going to pay for him. I get that, but he's
Nate will be drunk by that time in the draft. Don't worry about it.
No,
We'll
he's
do
in
him
the
like we
top
did last
25.
year. We'll make him draft 3 tight ends. I have no idea what happened.
Is he in the top
He got fucked
25?
Yeah, I would love to have Amon-Ra again, but I just don't see it happening.
No.
Shit, I might just go for the value and get that Justin Jefferson at a bargain this year because nobody wants him as much.
Come
You love
on,
yourself some
dude.
Sam Darnold.
You are crazy. He's not going to go for. People realize he's quarterback proof. You've yelled it at everybody. How many times? Jefferson's quarterback proof. It doesn't matter who's his quarterback. We have 5 minutes left, by the way. 6 minutes left.
Yeah, the clock is showing up on mine this time, so that's
Oh,
nice.
nice. Yeah, I don't know though. I think Amon-Ra should be at the top. What do you guys think about? I know we've kind of switched to now talking about players, but that's fine. That's what we can do here.
We should do a little bit of league stuff in here, probably just a little bit.
Well, I'm actually I like talking about these receivers right here because this interests me. Like where Garrett Wilson falls, how much he's going to go for. Puka Nacua, that's somebody that I'm wondering, does he get
the number 2 on the Rams? Is that who you're asking about?
Yeah, the number 2 on the Rams. Exactly.
Yeah, okay, just checking. Just making sure.
I see his name. I see his name up way above Cooper Kupp's on the draft this year.
Hey, people are listed wrong all the time, man. All the time.
What does Cooper Kupp go for this year is the question.
Injury prone, old man Cooper Kupp. Where does he get? How much does he go for?
Probably doesn't get drafted.
Yeah, you think he's just out there on the waivers?
Yeah,
just dying on the waivers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring it up. Okay, let's look at this. In every single best ball, Puka goes way earlier than Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And projections show that he should be going.
You realize it's because he's a star.
Yeah,
that kid is like. No, what I'm saying is like he's taken to like where Cooper Kupp is like doesn't do the new press. He's like super quiet. He's the Puka has gone the complete opposite, dude. He's playing in the NBA All-Star game. He's basketball game. He's doing this. He's doing that. You see him everywhere. It's crazy.
Without using the words age or injury, make a case for why Puka should go for more money than Cooper Kupp.
Without age or injury.
Without age or injury.
I think. Okay, let me make this argument. I think he was, despite Cooper Kupp being injured last year, I think he still balled out. He would have balled out either way. You know what I mean? Like I can make the argument that even with Cooper on the field in the games that Cooper was on the field with him, he still showed out.
Hold on. Let me time out you for a second. Because on the games when Cooper was there, we're talking the end of the season. Once Puka's established, once Cooper's back and healthy, Puka averaged 5 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown usually. But it was not the 12, 11, 13 catches for 80 yards to 100 yards. It was 5 catches for 80 yards was the average at the end. So when Cooper's on the field, he was actually getting more targets, even though Puka got a little more yardage and a little more touchdowns. It's not exactly what you're saying. Just saying. The numbers aren't exactly that.
Okay, maybe.
That he continued to be a stud, but he just wasn't putting up the same early season stud numbers.
Yeah, that's my point. As I was trying to make, is he continued to play at the same consistent level. He didn't have the same target share, obviously, because Cooper Kupp's on the field. They're not going to not throw it to Cooper Kupp, but he's still balled out. You know what I mean? Like he still showed you what he's capable of. You know,
He
so,
was better in non-PPR
hypothetical-
at the end of the year than PPR at the end of the year.
Hypothetical scenario, Ben. You're all your wide receivers are hurt. You need a wide receiver. You've got excess running backs. So you put up your RB3 and you say, "Hey, I'm willing to trade this guy for a wide receiver." And somebody comes to you and says, "I'll give you either Puka or Cooper straight up for that RB3." Which one you taking?
redraft league or
not
dynasty?
Our main league. They're offering you Puka or Cooper.
Great
All
question.
things being equal.
Great question.
Right now, I think I'm going to go Puka.
I
Honestly,
think you take Cooper.
you think I would?
No, I would take Cooper.
You
I'd
would
take
take him.
Cooper also.
I think. I honestly, I don't know. I mean, I think I would take Puka, dude, just because what I've seen from him. I know that's crazy, and Cooper Cup is Cooper Cup, right? But he's also an old man who can't stay on the field, right? He's gonna get hurt again.
You can't necessarily bank on injury. You got to bank on points per
can't.
game. I think
I
you got to
can.
bank on points per game.
You know, we have a tendency to always fall into Puka talk on this podcast. Why do we always get Puka?
It was on the list because I was interested in the way you thought because it's relevant.
All right, number one wide receiver in Chicago this year. Go.
DJ by far.
DJ
Fat
over
Keenan. Come on, it's Fat Keenan.
Fat Keenan. He doesn't look.
He put on
fat.
20 pounds, dog. He's
That's muscle,
230
son.
now.
That's muscle, son.
I don't
That was
know.
a rumor. I
I
heard
hear
it was
the
blowing
talk on
through.
social media that it's Fat Keenan.
I think
love it.
I'm gonna go
Don't do
Dunze
Don't do
or I think Rome.
Rome Adunze.
No, I think Rome
right.
will come in second to DJ Moore. I think Keenan will be playing third fiddle by the end of the season.
Number one receiver fantasy 49ers this year.
Fantasy?
Yeah, number one receiver for fantasy purposes 49ers. I'm putting my fucking flag. Debo this year is going to be number one.
That's what I want to say, but I want to give like props to Ayuk and hope he's on our team. But yeah, Debo myself.
Hey, by the way, we only have less than a minute left.
I'll go Ayuk just to say for the sake of it. Why not?
All right.
Hey, one last thought. 49er I'm most excited to watch this year. Somebody that held out all the way through training camp last year, didn't get a full ramp up.